Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video in this series. In the last video, we have discussed about the ETL pipeline and the components of the ETL pipeline, the source, stage, and the target. Now, in this video, what we would do is, based on the understanding from the last video, we would try processing the data for the use case that we have discussed in the second video. So taking it forward, so what we have seen, Manoj has identified the source of data where customer detail sheet of customer Excel and ID stored as number. Same was the case with the customer visits were stored in customer visit sheet of customer Excel and the ID stored as number. And the third source data was sales application database where customer ID is stored as string. Now, the issue with the data where email ID is blank and few are without at the rate symbol. Few mobile numbers are not 10 digits. Few mobile numbers are missing. Date for few fields are not in DD Mon YY format. Missing customer record as the customer has not provided the data, but his record is there in sales application. Middle name is missing in case of customer visit sheet. Date is not in DDMon YY format for all records. For some customer, ID is wrong for the name. In sales application database, for few customers, for a customer ID, the spelling of customer name is wrong and date is in DDMM YYY format. Okay. Now, what do we do as part of source to staging? So we'll try to identify what are the things that we can do while we move from source to staging, and then what are the things that we can do while we move the data from staging to target. Okay. We have to ensure that we don't change the data in the source because that should always be avoided. And usually this is done by the development team. The reason it should be avoided is because cases like Excel sheet, if you go make any change, the history of that would not be maintained. So for that reason, something like if you have some application in the source and if it maintains the history, in that case, you can go ahead change the source application. Okay. Now we look at placeholder like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. I have taken as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 for mobile numbers with digit less than 10. Your development team can think of having something else. Okay. And as well as for missing mobile numbers also in the staging table. The reason this placeholder is required is suppose in case you want to really identify the records, the customer records for which you don't have the mobile numbers, then you can directly query the database to find out the records having the value in the mobile number field as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay. Email ID with blank can be set to blank email as the text in the staging table. Date format to be changed to DDMon YY so that the date formats are consistent across all the tables within the staging table so that while we process from staging to target, the data is consistent. The date format is consistent. Coming to customer visit sheets, since middle name is missing, the middle name column is added in the staging table and date format to be changed to DDMon YYY and the customer ID for wrong names can be added from customer details table. Okay. Then in the sales application, correct customer name in the source. So since the source is maintaining the history of the customer names, that is where we can go ahead making the changes for the spelling mistake in the customer name in the source system. The date format to be changed to ddmon yy and store both ID and customer ID. And this date format to ddmon yy is not changed in the source application, but it is being changed in the staging table while the data is moving from my source to stage. Also, we need to, in the staging table, we need to add ID column as well as customer ID, because the customer ID is stored as string and as customer ID field in sales application, and this ID is not same as the ID in the customer details and customer visits sheet. So for that reason, what we need to do is we need to have the mapping between the ID and the customer ID column. So for that reason, we go ahead adding both ID and customer ID column within the same table, okay, in the staging area. Now this is about source to staging, and the only reason we are covering all these things here is which is more related to development. The reason I am covering up this is you have to ensure that you have to question yourself. You have to really see what was the data in the source and what was the changes that was done to the source data while it moved from source to staging. The reason for that is once you understand that, that is where you can appreciate the ETL testing. Okay, that is where you understand the business logic. That is where you would understand why this data has been moved this way, or the changes to the data has been done this way, uh, and how that data is getting used for analysis at the data warehouse level. Okay, so for that reason, you have to take this as an example only, because you need to, without that understanding, going to interviews would be really difficult for you, because the questions that may come up is what was your data in the source and how it got transformed, and what were the placeholders that were used, what are the date what were the datas which your development team tried to make it consistent, and why it was tried to make consistent that way. Okay, so for that reason, you have to use this example to analyze the project that you're working on and then start gathering that information. Okay, with that, I'll now move to the next stage. The next one is the same thing, the source of data, the issue with the data. Now, the green ones are the ones which have been uh, uh, fixed within the source to staging, and the blue ones are the ones which are uh, fixed from while the data is being moved from staging to target. Only one mistake that I've done is few are without at the rate, the first line, few are without at the rate has been changed here in staging to target. Okay, so email ID without at the rate is set to invalid email. Reason, with this value, what would happen if in case you need to really identify customers whose email ID was not valid, you can just query with this particular text and you get all the customer records, and then go about, whenever the customer comes, then you can go about getting their actual email IDs. Inserting missing customer records from sales application. So the missing customer record, as the customer has not provided the data, but his record is there in sales application. So that record can be inserted uh, from the sales application into this particular table in the target. Okay. Middle name is missing. Update middle name with proper one from the customer details table in the staging, and for remaining middle name it can be blank. Okay. For few customers, for customer ID, the spelling of customer name is wrong. So basically this two already has been processed as part of source to target, but you would see that a new column to uniquely identify customer has been added, and we'll talk about this particular new column when we discuss about surrogate keys. Okay, but otherwise, yes, a new column because we have customer ID, we have ID column in the table, but customer ID is string and ID is number. For that reason, that cannot be primary key. Hence we have to add a separate surrogate key to individually to ensure that the records are uh, uniquely identified. Okay, so we'll discuss about that during while we discuss about surrogate keys. Okay, so with this, I just wanted to again say analyze how the data has moved from source to staging and staging to target. What was its state in source, and what are the columns for which the data has been cleansed or the data has been transformed from source to staging, and similarly the case from staging to target. Okay, thank you. uh, just a bonus, I have provided few of the interview questions uh, based on whatever we have discussed. Try answering these interview questions by yourself. If in case you have any questions on these interview questions which you are not able to solve, you can send an email to me and I'll ensure that I respond back to you within 6 hours to 12 hours. Okay. With this, we'll meet up with the next video. Okay. Stay tuned for more good videos which would help you upskill your career in ETL testing, as well as you can reach out to me if in case you want to upskill your career within testing areas. Okay. Thank you. Thank you again. Bye bye.